Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. So this video is another one of my history book reviews where I take 3 history books and review them for you. If any of them take your fancy, they are always linked in the description bar. Let's get straight into it. All of these books I was kindly sent from the publisher, which is Pen and Sword, so thank you for sending me them. Let's go. So starting off, I have A Right Royal Scandal, 2 Marriages That Changed History by Joanne Major and Sarah Murden. So this book is kind of what it says on the tin. It's about 2 marriages that were seen as rather scandalous for their day. I've got to read this out. So the first one is an elopement in 1815 of Lady Anne, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Abdy, it's A-B-D-Y. She was the married niece of the Duke of Wellington and her lover was Lord Charles Bentinck. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. It was seen as quite scandalous because of course it's an elopement, as well as the fact that it was the Duke of Wellington, so it's a high profile sort of case. And the second one was Anne's son Charlie and his marriage to a gypsy gal called Sanita Lambourne, and this marriage has an effect on the royal family. I won't tell you what it is because of course that'll spoil the book for you. This book is perfect for any of you who really like kind of scandalous sort of books. If you're very much into the royal family and what's going on and you like to be nosy, you'll enjoy this book. This, for me, I really enjoyed how it wove the 2 stories together because obviously it's 2 separate couples but one family, and the stories just really flowed together really nicely. It was very enjoyable and I look forward to reading their other books. The next book that I have to share with you is Queens of Georgian Britain by Catherine, I'm not sure how you pronounce this. I've read another one of her books before, I've read 2 actually, but one book in particular was Kings of Georgian Britain, and that book I said was a great stepping stone for getting into the Georgians, and this one is exactly the same. So this book looks particularly at the wives and what they managed to achieve, what their marriages were like. Some of them had happy marriages, some of them didn't, some of them had a lot of children, some of them didn't. As with the other one, it's a great introduction into these women. And I often find that the Georges and the Georgian period, the Hanoverian period, is often missed through a lot of history. A lot of people love the Tudors and things, but the Georgians, trust me, they're just as exciting. And if you read Kings of Georgian Britain, please don't leave out the queens. It's just as fascinating. And finally, last but oh so certainly not least, I have The Life of Henrietta Anne, Daughter of Charles I by Melanie Clegg. So this book is what it says on the tin. It's about Henrietta Anne. She was the daughter of Charles I and Henrietta Maria, and she is also the sister of King Charles II. And while everything is going on in England with the sticky situation that her father Charles I is facing, and of course he does end up being executed, Henrietta Maria, Henrietta Anne's mom, takes her over to France, and there she actually spends most of her life. She ends up getting married to the King of France's brother. That's a bit complicated, but she ends up getting married to him. They have a rather interesting marriage, to say the least. His sexuality is often in question, but Henrietta herself is a really interesting woman, how she kind of deals with being a royal on the other side of the pond and then going back to England, and it's really interesting. She is a very lovely looking woman. She has a lot of attention from men, let's say. She's quite feisty, she's very clever, she knows how to use her intellect, she knows how to use her wit and her charm. I like her. The only downside about this book is the fact that it's 200 pages and for me it just whizzed through way too fast. I've read another book by Melanie Clegg which was on Married at Guise, which I really enjoyed. This one for me though is her best. I gave this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. And it's really given me a love of the Stuart period, which is now a period of history that I'm really getting into. So that's it for my history book reviews today. I hope you enjoyed it. If any of these 3 books have taken your fancy, please let me know in the comments section. Also, as I said, if you want to get your hands on them, they are in the description box as always. So I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Take care and I shall see you soon for the next video.